Go. Okay. Awesome. Yeah, Brandon, by the way, so I just asked her, she is going to go pro. She's going to make her.
Sweet.
Yeah, I got it scheduled. It's in June. I can't announce the official date or anything, but I got an opponent. I got everything set up. So hopefully soon we'll be able to announce it and everything.
Awesome. And has that been something you've been working on for a while, or is that kind of new?
Yeah, so I was supposed to make my pro debut. I haven't fought. First of all, I haven't even fought in 2.5 years.
I was gonna say,
I was supposed to make I was supposed to make my pro debut in December of 2020, maybe. I can't even remember. It was a few years ago, and then I ended up getting COVID the week of. So I had to cancel that one. Then I had COVID for a month. And then I couldn't find then she ended up fighting someone else. And then I couldn't find an opponent for literally ever. And then I finally got an opponent and everything set up now at this point. So yeah, that was a wild ride.
That sounds like it.
Are you looking forward to that?
What?
Bro, it seems COVID kind of pushed it back, obviously, but are you excited to finally to get that chance?
Fuck yeah, I'm not trying to fight for free anymore. You know what I mean?
I get that.
Shit, if anything.
Absolutely.
No, absolutely, 100%. We just both spar, and I don't know, I think it takes a lot to be able to do it as an amateur, because it's like you said, you're not trying to fight for free. It's
what I feel yeah. But then again, amateur, you also have the mindset of yeah, it matters to you, but it doesn't really matter yet. And you kind of know that too, you're still learning and shit. But then once you go pro, and that's it. So It's almost more pressure. I feel with that.
A lot more to lose.
Yeah, you have a lot more to lose. Nobody want to get beat and have that shit on your record forever,
It's something the guy said to us the other day. He said that he thinks a lot of fighters don't have a long enough amateur career because they don't get to experience the ups and downs, and then when they get pro, it's just boom, and then they don't know how to react to certain things.
Yeah, for sure. There's positives and negatives to both. I just pretty much try to listen to my coaches and my teammates and everything, and I go with whatever they tell me. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. What is your what's one of the fighters that you looked up to growing up? Who kind of got you into it?
I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. I didn't even fucking watch fighting until I was older and I started training. I was never an athlete or anything. I was into carpentry and hunting and fishing. I was a little dweeb growing up, and I was a horse girl. And then when I was 19, I feel somebody was oh, this dude was trying to impress me, and he was oh, I'm gonna go to this MMA gym and do this class, da, da, da. And I was that sounds kind of fun. And I went, and he ended up quitting, and then I stuck with it. And then I was this is kind of fun, dog. And then I ended up moving in Mexico, and I was I'm gonna be a fighter. And I dropped out of college and everything. My dad was all nah, what are you doing? You know what I mean? And I was no, I'm gonna be a fighter. And then thank God it worked out, because I had no plans going into this at all.
Right. So were you straight into MMA then? You didn't necessarily did you do something else beforehand? It was straight into MMA.
I did. So back home when I did that class, it was just jiu-jitsu.
Right.
But I fucking barely did it for a few months, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't even call that a background. And then I moved to Jackson Wink. So that's kind of interesting too, is I've been here for 5, almost 6 years maybe. And they've pretty much built me from the ground up. So it's interesting to see a strictly MMA based, I learned everything at once. You know what I mean? It wasn't this and this and this. It was everything at once I learned and developed from there,
Jackson Wink.
So would you say you still favor one of the other, or do you, obviously it's a goal to be well-rounded, but do you have a preference? Do you like stand-up more than grappling?
I feel I have more fun. Well, nah, I have fun everywhere, I feel but I feel people think of me as more of a striker, which is fine. Right. Yeah. I enjoy striking. You know what I mean? Yeah. I thoroughly enjoy that part of it, but I also like grappling, but people just don't know that,
Yeah.
Because somebody's going to be surprised whenever they, they try to take you down, and you're going to be I like this.
Yeah. They're guess what, motherfucker?
Jackson Wink is that where John Jones trained?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's what he was telling me. He's been following this for a lot longer than I have. So like you mentioned a gym or something, and he's like a super big, like he just knows everything. He surprises me with things all the time.
Far from it.
Yeah.
Far from it.
So you're going pro. Okay, that's nice. Okay, like okay, so I guess that you just started watching fighting. Are there any fighters that you kind of like would relate your style to now? That are, or who do you like to watch? Who are you a big fan of?
I like watching, to be honest, I watch more of the guys fight than the girls. I like some of the girls. I just feel like you're harder pressed to find really good, like technical, like things with some of the girls sometimes, which sounds kind of fucked up being a female fighter. But like, I tend to watch the guys more. But like one of my favorites to watch is Israel Adesanya, obviously, because his striking, like everything's so intricate. Like people don't realize, like when I watch fighting with like normal people that don't train and everything, like they're like, what's happening? Like they don't realize like the little tiny things, like the feints and the things like that. You know what I mean? It's like you watch things like that, but like they don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan as of like the females. I'm a big fan of Rose, and I'm a big fan of Valentina as well. Yeah, I feel like they're the most technical of like the girls.
Yeah,
I think.
I'd agree.
I love.
That's interesting about Rose too, is that she like hasn't always been like that. Like Valentina's been very dominant for the most part, but Rose is like, she was like young, and then she comes up, and then she lost a few, and then she got really good, and like she develops fast. You know what I mean?
She grew into it.
She grows really fast and like develops into it, and it's really cool to watch. And now I feel like she's one of the best females, period.
Oh, absolutely.
Dominated. Like, I mean, because everybody was like, okay, well, you know, she got that kick, you know, she knocked her out quick. And then when she came back and just dominated all 5 rounds.
Yeah, it's easy to say it's lucky until it's not. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's easy to say somebody got a lucky punch in until like they're fucking everybody up. And then they're like, oh, never mind. Never mind. They're good.
There's a lot. I mean, to come back from, I mean, we just watched Corey Anderson come back, and he was dominating the guy on the Bellator night, and I was very surprised. I was like, wow. I mean, and that guy's had a career like up, down. A
dog, though. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Dog.
Like you can't ever be surprised by him anymore either. I mean, everyone was surprised when he won his last fight, but why? Because he's done that his whole career.
Everyone's always going to be surprised at something or talk shit about something or whatever.
And then that is the MMA world. That's the fight. I mean, that's just the world in general. But
yeah, you win, you lose. Somebody going to say something. So like, who cares? Like at the end of the day, if you ain't paying my bills, like,
right,
I don't care. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Get out of my DMs. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
what's her name? When Roxy fought Casey O'Neill, I mean, Roxy's like a pioneer. She's a legend.
Bro, she's a legend. And people don't even realize. They're like, But I'm like, you haven't been watching for a while. You don't know. I mean, you know what I mean?
The casual fan didn't know who she was up until her last fight.
Yeah. People don't know who anybody is until they have to. And then they're like, oh, I'm me. Right. But people talk shit all the time. I see it all the time. People love to hate on me on my page. I think it's so funny. I think it's so funny, bro.
One of the most
I'm sure.
Things. Like
I will say
on social media, they come after fighters, they come at athletes in general. And I'm like,
oh yeah,
you placed your house savings on a bet. You want to talk shit to this person. That can kill you with their eyes closed. So
yeah, dead ass. Like I always do like collabs with like Fight Bananas and stuff, and he'll always like hit me up and be like, what are your picks for da da da? And I'll post like a video and I'll be like, these are my picks, and people come for me. Like the last time they came for me because I fucking said Hamzat's name fucking wrong, but who the fuck cares? I'm like, Chael Sonnen's never pronounced anybody's name correctly in his life.
Exactly.
Y'all just mad for what? And they'd be like, who even is she? Don't talk about a sport you don't know about. And I'm like, yeah, bet, whatever, dog.
The same people.
Whatever, bro. Yeah, you're right. I don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly.
He's always the one with like 3 followers too. I'm like, I don't know nothing.
Like, you're not even worth my time.
Nah, sometimes I'll respond. If I got something funny to say, I'll respond. But like my favorite ones is when like the guys will like talk shit. Like they're going to fight me or something. There was one like last week. He says something, and then I looked at his page and it was like a teacher, and I was like, your students know you like to beat bitches. And then some dude comes to his defense. I'm like, dog, like, yo,
Oh,
I don't even know.
Everyone's soft
Funny.
these
That
days.
is funny.
I'm like, everybody's salty out here, bro.
Everybody.
It's funny though. I don't care. I like trolling people too, so I don't mind.
I think it's pretty.
Oh, it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. Whatever.
Because like you said, nothing they do or say is gonna change anything for you.
Yeah, bro. You don't know nothing about me.
You never
exactly, bro.
It's all fun and games. I mean,
this is why you'll never be great.
I think who gets under people's skin the most is Jake Paul, and people don't realize it. Like he's funny. He's funny.
Yeah, bro. But he doesn't. You know why he doesn't care, bro? Because he makes more money than any of them. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Like, what
who
can
cares,
anyone say?
Bro? Say whatever you want to say about me. I'm gonna read it while I'm sitting next to my pool. You know what I mean? Like, get out.
He does the same thing. He does not care. He doesn't care. He doesn't have to care. That's how he made his money. I mean,
I feel like nobody really cares. Anybody that matters doesn't. At the end of the day, doesn't care what anybody else thinks or says, because you have to. You know what I mean? You learn that coming up. Like, okay, like, you know what I mean? The only people that actually genuinely care about what other people think are people that aren't like okay with themselves or haven't found themselves like as a person, you know?
The only people that really matter are the people that are close or influence your bank account. I mean, either one. I mean, but family, friends, like those are the ones that you gotta like take into account. Like, and even depending on that, I mean, sometimes they cross the line.
Yeah, sometimes toxic people can be anywhere, but for the most part, it's like keep the good people in your life close, and the rest can get fucked.
Yeah, 100%. It's funny that you say that though, because like everybody is hating on Bilal Muhammad now because of his fight with Luke, and I'm like, y'all are all casual fans. I mean, that was a performance for like he dominated that guy, and I mean,
yeah, bro.
People were booing in the crowd, and I'm like, this is ridiculous.
This is stupid, bro. Like this man dedicated his whole life to this shit.
And I mean,
it's the audacity for me that you guys had, you know.
It's not anything else. It's MMA. That's what it is. And it's crazy. It's crazy to see, like, there's a lot of casual fans for sure.
Yeah. People all think they can fight until they get in a street fight. You ever watch street fights? That shit's hilarious.
It is. That shit, the average person on the street can't take one hit.
That's hilarious.
We see each other videos. It'll be like one of them was like amateur boxer versus street fighter, or it was in Vegas, and he threw one punch, and I was like, oh no,
dog. I work in a bar, so I always like all the time see this shit happen. People get in fights, and I'm like,
you get to see the drunk fuckers too.
I always watch this, and I'm like, man, yeah, like their punches be going like 1 mile per hour. I'm like, dog, bro.
90% of them probably throw a big right hand. That's about it.
Bro, absolutely. But it's like way back here. You know what I mean?
Looping and hooking. And,
it's
bro. And they all drunk and they just talking shit in each other's faces. That's so funny.
It is hilarious. Like it's honestly. Oh, so when was your pro fight? It was. Oh, you don't know exactly 100%. You can't really.
I know the date, but I haven't announced it yet. But it's in June.
So with that new fight, are you gonna change anything? Like, does your camp change? Does anything change at all?
Not really. I mean, I always train all the time, anyways. Yeah. Like, so just because like I always thought, like I was like pretty sure that when I did get my debut, it was gonna be like a last minute kind of deal, and it was gonna be somebody like a late replacement type. You know what I mean? So I was like, I gotta stay ready for this, anyways. But now I got weeks and weeks and weeks, you know what I mean? So basically, like, nah, not really. I mean, I add like some more runs into it, but for the most part, nah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah.
What is your like dream organization to fight in? Do you really have one? Would it be the UFC, Bellator?
The UFC, yeah. UFC.
Definitely a lot of talent. It's crazy. I don't know how to compare the two because you really, I guess we'll never know.
What, Bellator and the UFC?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like
there's pros and cons to both. I feel like the UFC opens up better opportunities for marketing and like things like that. And they're going to have like a higher level of talent for the most part. Not always, no, because there is a lot of good people in Bellator too. Right. But there's a lot as a whole. The roster in Bellator is not as talented as UFC. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, like absolutely. There's still bums in Bellator.
Absolutely.
But there's like, you can't be a bum in the UFC, not for long at least. No. You can't, because you're going to be thrown to the dogs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, and they got a short straw these days because the roster's so damn big.
Even if you get signed to the UFC, like you could still get cut like that. You know what I mean? For anything. Like Bellator, I feel like you could take a few different routes and everything. But for the most part, I feel like I want to fight for the UFC. And I talked to my management about it and everything. And we had that conversation because I asked about Bellator when I was having a hard time finding like opponents and stuff. Because I was like, maybe if you like open up like a good organization, maybe they'd be down for it, whatever. But they were like, nah, because we don't want you to get sucked into there, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? So it's just like a individualistic thing, whatever you want to do. Like it's your own career.
Right.
If you hit a point and the UFC ain't calling yet, go to Bellator. They're going to pay you good. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
You know? Who cares?
Did you watch Hamzat and Gilbert?
Yeah, that shit was sick.
Yeah, I honestly
crap.
They might go.
Bro, Gilbert's a dog.
That was a crap.
He's a dog, though. You know what I mean? Like,
nobody else
hit hard.
took that fight. And then, man, he honestly, I think they're going to rematch. I have a feeling it's going to be him and Hamzat.
They probably will.
ABC, 5 rounds.
Probably not like now, but like later, yeah. For sure.
Gilbert's not scared of anything. He just proved that. Nobody.
Nah, bro. Why would he be? People like, yeah, like he was a big underdog and whatever for that fight, but like also too, like this man's fought like dogs.
I mean, he had nothing
you know
to
what
prove
I mean?
there.
Like he's been there for a while. Like
exactly.
He's not like a bum. Like people don't realize. Like people see like hype train sometimes and they like forget that the other guy's like a legit fighter. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, his only recent loss is to the champ.
Yeah, bro. What the fuck?
What?
The fuck?
You got a guy like him, and then you got a guy like Kobe, which Bilal was like, dude, he's only fought like coming off losses like Tyron Woodley, and I mean, not to take anything away from him because he's still fucking Colby Covington, but
for sure he good, but
Gilbert Burns is fought. He doesn't care. Hamzat owes him one, that's for sure. Hamzat owes him.
Yeah, for sure, I agree. Hamzat's a fucking.
That was
He's like a different breed, bro. He's a different breed.
I was about to say the same thing.
That man crazy as fuck. I feel like a lot of the like people from like Russia and those parts, like they're just. I've never like training with people. I've never met more like hard people. Sometimes like, dog, yo, you good? I feel like they're like not real. You know,
it's a different world.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it is for sure. You visit any like foreign country or whatever, and you like see like different aspects of it, and you're like, whoa. That would never happen back home. You know what I mean?
You really have it like that. I think that's a depiction of like those people go through it and they are willing to fight for the day.
Bro. They from the fucking trenches.
Yeah, no,
trenches.
Like, all those Russians are like, nah, I'm good. The
trenches. Yeah. That man was up on the cage waiting for Gilbert. You know what I'm saying? Like,
just
that was so.
Yeah,
that was hard, dog.
Oh
man, like I don't know. That was a fight of like probably like of the generation, to be honest. That was something that like you're not going to see a lot more of that for sure. I mean,
nah, bro.
You don't see
the attitude he has towards it all is just different. It
really. Dog.
What's scary is how much better he's going to get from that because like.
Yeah,
he was exposed to a few holes in his game, but like he said it, he was like, you know what, like I was trying to knock him out too much, which he was going way too.
When you realize like the holes too, it's dangerous because like some people like get exposed and yada yada yada, and they're like, yeah, cool, but they don't actually do anything about it. But sometimes people like see the things and they're like, I did that wrong, and they sit back for like months and they're like.
Yeah,
and they just really work on it, and the next time they're just like killers. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like that's like people that don't know how to wrestle or grapple or whatever. Sometimes like people like that, they'll keep getting taken down or whatever. Oh, sorry. And then sorry, my coach is calling me. And then they'll come back and they'll just be an animal. You know what I mean? Like there's different aspects to people. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think he honestly probably gained more experience in that fight than he has in his whole career.
Oh, yeah.
I agree.
Is that what you're kind of expecting from your first pro fight? You think it's going to be like a pretty big learning experience, or maybe it's just, I guess you got kind of open arms a little?
I mean, she has like a little bit more experience amateur. It's also her pro debut though, the girl. It's also her pro debut. She has a little bit more amateur experience, but like, to be honest, overall, I'm a better fighter. I'm train a lot more. You know what I mean? I have less.
And pro or not, you just got to look at it as another fight, bottom line.
For sure, bro. For sure. At the end of the day, I mean, she's also not pro yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
So, like, it's both of our, like.
So it could really go this way. You don't know yet.
Yeah.
100%. That's something that's.
Is she a specific style of fighter, or like grappler?
She is a striker with like no grappling whatsoever.
Fun.
But I'm also a striker that has grappling. So
yeah, exactly.
I feel like my striking too is better though. You know what I mean? Like I feel like it's gonna be like cool wherever. I'm gonna be cool wherever.
I think my last question for you would be is like, what kind of fighter, like what, obviously, do you have a matchup that you seem is like more fun for you? Or do you have a matchup that like, or what's your matchup that's almost like, you know, it's going to be a grind when you get in the octagon or not?
I feel like when I get a really good like wrestler.
Yeah.
Like when I get a really good wrestler. Because like, I expect that, to be honest, because I hit pretty hard. I expect most of the girls I fight to like shoot at least once. But like if I get like a grinder wrestler and I have to like constantly be like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It'll be fun. But like my jujitsu too is good. So I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, you saw that from Hamza. He did not want any part on the ground with Gilbert. He respected that and he was like, I'm good. He's like, you can get
some people. Sometimes you know what? Like I've been with people where you're like confident and then you get to that point and you're just like, never mind, bro. You know what I mean? Like, never mind, dog. Like, everybody like you're feeling good about yourself and shit, and then like you get to the point where you're like, no, I'm gonna stand up again though, dog. Like I don't, because sometimes like it's not even about like you being confident or not. Sometimes like it's just gonna, you know, it's gonna take a lot of effort for you to do that shit.
Right.
And a lot of it is like preserving your energy, especially with like a dog fight like that, because like you know this is gonna be a long night. You know what I mean? So you're trying to like I'm a lazy fighter, so I'm trying to use as little energy as possible, to be honest. I mean,
in all pro or all, so in the league that you're going into, are the championship fights, are they 5 rounds too?
What you mean?
So like if you after a belt, would it be 5 rounds or is it 3?
I don't even know if they have a belt, to be honest, bro.
No?
I don't think they got a belt. But yeah, I mean, all if you're going for a belt, they're always 5 rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, right. No? Are they not?
I think all championship rounds are 5 rounds.
Yeah, they've always been like that, whether it's like a little organization or not. I'm pretty sure it's always 5 rounds.
Yeah.
But you're going to have to up my check if you want to do that shit. You know what I mean? If I'm going to be going 5 rounds, that better be a good check.
I'm tired.
Outside the UFC? My God.
Getting smashed. So
I did that.
Well, I mean, we don't want to keep you too long. We know you got to get training. So whenever you got to go, just let us know.
No, you're good. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is.
It's 5:20.
I'll be good for a little bit longer.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I don't want to keep you too long. What other questions I got for you? Let's see. Brennan, you got any questions?
Yeah, I guess who are some of your main training partners? Who do you like to work with? Who's a couple fighters who have helped you grow in your mind?
To be honest, Michelle Watterson, obviously, because she's like the other like 115er at my gym. But then like probably my best friend Jesse, he's got a title fight coming up in Cali on May 1st. He's defending his title. But that motherfucker's good. Like he's good, bro. Like he's a slick like brown belt, good striking, everything like that. So I gotta be like on it when I'm going with him, you know what I mean? Like people like that. So I go a lot with like the smaller guys too, just because like they'll put like heavy pressure on me and shit, and I gotta work hard, you know?
Absolutely.
And we don't have a lot of like, we have the girls come and go from the gym. So like some months there'll be like a ton of girls, and some months there won't be like any, and it'll just be me. You know what I mean? So it just depends on who's there at what time, because a lot of people travel in and out, you know what I mean? But for the most consistently, me and like the little guys, I feel like.
Yeah. Okay. And not like, I feel like that's from other female fighters we've talked to, that's pretty common that they end up sparring with men. because of the lack of female still in it, or is it because, like you said, you like that little extra pressure and aggression that you kind of get from the men sometimes?
A little bit of both, honestly. Like for the most part, it's pretty much just if we don't have enough girls, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
especially because like on sparring days, yeah, I don't know, it just depends. It depends on who's there at the time.
totally.
And if you have a fight coming up or not. Because if you have a fight and you need specific fighters, so like let's say like I got this fight coming up and this girl is this tall or she does this, I'm gonna pick out which fighters in the gym do this, which is good because we have a lot of bodies in our gym, like to be honest, which is like not normal, I feel like, and a lot of other places we have a lot to choose from. We have like a dumb amount of southpaws too, like a stupid amount of southpaws, which is super weird. So if you ever have like a southpaw fight, like
y'all ready?
We got a ton, you know what I mean? Like we don't have to worry about that. But for the most part, it just depends.
Totally. I know that makes sense. I kind of figured, but I was curious.
Are you southpaw or are you more like?
No, I'm ortho. I switch sometimes, but I'm ortho for the most part.
You enjoy fighting southpaw? Do you like the challenge?
Huh?
Do you like to fight southpaw? I mean, is it kind of a challenge for you?
If I switch, I have like a few combinations I'll throw off from there. But I don't usually stay there long. I'll like switch to get to somewhere else or yada yada yada. You know what I mean? I like to go with southpaws because like there's certain things that I know that work against them as opposed to other things. You know what I mean? Like if I go with a southpaw, I always start your combination with your right hand. Like I learned that from Mayweather. Because if you start with the right hand, I always land that upper left hook and anything really. If you just start, it's just like switch it. You know what I mean?
So you like what combat sports? You like boxing too?
I fucking love boxing. Honestly, bro, sometimes I'd rather watch boxing than MMA.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it depends on who's fighting.
It just depends. I mean, I'm not gonna say that. It's all entertaining, but I just love like the art of boxing. It's so cool. Like it's so much different. And like, it's hard, you know, like, and they get hit way harder than we do because you know why? Because they can get knocked out and then they got like 8 seconds to stand up. Like you get knocked out in the cage, you just out, you know, like it's that's hella brain damage, dog. Like shit, that's hard. And then like half the time you're not gonna be the one to be like, fuck, bro, like my head hurts. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah, I guess I'm good. You're fucking doing the chicken dance and shit. Like fuck.
That's why I like watching like just kickboxing and Muay Thai so much because all the feint work, all the simple footwork, and
Muay Thai is cool because they go back
so much more. It's the striking level, that flow state. It's crazy.
Because you just have to worry about different things in each sport. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like in boxing, they ain't worried about knees. They're not worried about this or that and that. And Muay Thai, same thing. You're not worried about this, so you can be a lot closer. MMA, you got to stay a little bit farther out because you get too close, there could be a takedown. There could be, you know what I mean? Like, it's all different. There's pros and cons to everything.
And I hate watching this come up because they really want that Izzy fight. They really want that Izzy fight with him. And
for Hamzat?
No, for Pereira.
It's Pereira.
Alex Pereira, that guy.
I thought we were still talking about Hamzat. Oh yeah. No, they should do that one.
Pereira, just because he's the only guy who's knocked.
I know they should do that one with the little gloves. But I feel like Izzy will still win.
I think he'll win just because of his MMA experience at this point.
That's what I think.
And like you said, in Muay Thai, you're a lot closer. In MMA, there's so much more range. It's been a long
time since they fought. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
But in MMA, there's so much more range, and who's better at controlling range than freaking Izzy? So
he's about to break Sean.
I think that'll be an awesome rematch to see someday.
I think so too, bro. I think they'll do it. They'll do it soon.
Yeah, I think if he breaks Sean Strickland like they think he's gonna do, then that fight might be next. I mean,
that'd be lit. That'd be lit.
Because like I don't know, it's got to be like in the back of his mind, even though Izzy's such a champion, it's just like this man's not.
You know, it's in the back of his mind.
Yeah,
you know, it's in the back of his mind.
I mean,
and that's probably a whole lot of mental shit he got to work through. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally.
Because I think not only did he knock him out, I think he beat him twice.
He beat him twice, yeah.
Yeah,
he beat him by decision once.
Right.
Yeah, so like you're sitting here and you're like, fuck, man, like that guy already beat me twice. Like he knocked me out that one time.
Especially it's because the fight that he got knocked out, he was actually like Izzy was getting his revenge. He was winning that fight, and then he gets dropped. Yeah. So that definitely hurts his mental for sure.
Yeah, for sure, bro. But you just gotta like, I don't know, you gotta like work through that shit. And that's hard though. It's hard though, because then you gotta work. I don't know, losing sucks, and like, you know, everybody gonna be talking shit, but you just gotta kind of like grind. You know what I mean? You just gotta kind of grind.
Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think looking online, I saw your only loss was your first amateur fight. Do you think that helped having your first fight be your first loss? Do you think that helped in a way?
Yeah, because, well, first of all, I took that fight after like training like 5 months, and I was like, I'm ready to fight. And the girl I fought was like, she was mad good, bro. She'd been like wrestling her whole fucking life and like boxing and shit, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on, but like it was good, because then I realized there was no way I was gonna win that fight. First of all, at that point in time in my life, there's just no way. Like I could fight that fight in that exact day of my life 10,000 times, and I would never win it. It's just like I did not know what was going on, dog. Like I had no idea. You know what I mean? But that was good, because then I stepped back. I was like, oh shit, we really fighting for real. Like I better learn something. You know what I mean? I better learn something. And then I took like a lot more time to train before I had my second, my third, fourth, whatever. You know what I mean?
And it's like, but you learned a lot. Was it still fun?
A lot. And ideally, how many times would you like to fight it in a year?
A year?
Yeah.
As much as possible.
As much
now,
as
at this point. This point.
Yeah.
Back then, like I had to take those years to like learn a lot of shit. You know what I mean? At this point, you can put me in back to back. Because like I'm learning, like, and I understand like basics, and you know what I mean? Like that part of my career, like, no.
Makes sense.
No. But now, yeah, I could fight more. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It's just all about dates and opponents and where the fuck ever. And everybody's like choosing their opponents mad annoying now.
Of course.
Worst about that.
As long as it doesn't get as bad as boxing, we'll be honest.
Bro, you know it's gonna get as bad as boxing. It's gonna get as bad as boxing.
We don't want that.
It's going to.
Like, y'all are all.
You're gonna have like people with like 20 pro fights fought fucking bums, you know what I mean? Like my best friend Jesse or whatever that's doing the title defense, he's fighting this dude from out in Cali and shit, and he's all the dude from Cali's all talking shit, and he's like, I'm gonna beat this dude up. You look at that man's Tapology, my boy. His last 4 fucking opponents were like 0-9, dog. Right. I'm like, where are you finding this dude in the bar? And then like, you're gonna talk shit. And the best part was, bro, he posted his knockout, his sick like 13-second knockout, was like, this the dude I'm beating up. And it's like, thanks for the exposure, dog. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. For example, like AJ McGee, no, not to take away from him as a great fighter at all, because he definitely is a great fighter. But I mean, he's born and bred Bellator, had every fight he's ever had in Bellator. They built his undefeated career. You know, they built that.
Which is fine, because as you're coming up, sometimes it just depends on the type of fighter you are, what level you're at, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes that's best. Sometimes that's best.
And I think that was good for both him and Bellator.
Sometimes you're not prepared for this level yet when you're here.
Absolutely.
But you need somebody to tell you you're not prepared for that shit yet. So they're going to match you here. You know what I mean? Until you get to here. And then you can, you know what I mean? And you might have the same fights as this dude up here. But like, that just ain't smart yet, because you're just
not everyone should be thrown to the wolves. Yeah.
So I feel for him, you know what I mean? I feel for some of the people, and like I get it. I get why they're doing it. Nobody wants to lose, nobody wants to get knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? But it sucks when you're on the other side of it too sometimes, you know?
Totally get that.
I don't think we're gonna hear him talk about Volkanovski anymore for a while.
Nah.
I don't think so. Like after watching what I did, I'm like, neither one of y'all really are ready. Like Volkanovski's a zombie. Like I'm good. I could be a heavyweight. I'm good.
He a killer though.
Volkanovski, that man's a different breed, man.
That man's killer.
Talk about a dog.
A dog, bro. I bet you could hit him with a baseball bat. That may be like,
Hit me again. Hit me again.
I'm just like, you can't beat this guy. Not right now.
Nah. Which is fine.
It is.
Nobody wants to watch a fight right now that they know it's going to be, you know what I mean? Like, give him a few years till he's ready for that shit, and then we're going to have a dog fight. Cool.
Exactly.
Perfect. Great.
Well, Brian,
you know what I mean?
Back for his ass. He better watch it.
Shit.
That was a good ass fight. That was
Ortega scrapped.
Ortega a scrapper, bro, for real. He a dog.
I mean, he's almost on that level. I mean, then he came back and won that 5th round when he fought Volk, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm watching right now.
Shook.
That's why I love the sport, though. I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen ever.
Nah, you never do. Anybody can win any fight at any point in time.
100%.
For sure.
Well, that's all I got for you. And like I said, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. I know you got your practice to get to, but I wish you the best of luck.
For sure, brother. Thank you, guys.
Hey, absolutely. Yeah, we look forward to watching your pro debut whenever it happens. So just we'll look out for that date.
Hell yeah, I appreciate you guys.
And we should be getting a little merch here, so maybe we'll send you a gift or two.
Dope. Let me know. I'll post it up for you guys.
Gotcha. Keep in touch. Bye.
Okay, bye.